Manchester United are definitely the worst-run football club in the world, and there's no hiding from this fact. From Ronaldinho to Alphonso Davies to Manuel Neuer, let's dive right in. We start with a player who's scoring goals for fun in the Premier League. And no, we're not talking about Mohamed Salah or Cole Palmer. We're talking about the Norwegian meat shield, also known as Erling Haaland. In all honesty, the young striker has a history with Manchester United through his father Alpha, who had his knees rearranged by Roy Keane. On top of that, United legend and ex-manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer handed Haaland his professional debut. The two had a great relationship at Molde, and United were constantly linked with the youngster when he was helping Austrian giants RB Solsberg do wonders in the Champions League. However, when it came to making a move for him, United refused to be exploited by his representatives, led by the late Mino Raiola. Eventually, Haaland signed for Manchester City, and the rest, as they say, is history. Another player United should have signed is Alphonso Davies, who's come into his own at Bayern Munich. The marauding fullback from Canada is one of the finest in his positions, and could have signed for Manchester United when he was only starting at Toronto FC. United scouts alerted senior management about the youngster on multiple occasions, but each time, the recommendation was swiftly dismissed. Bayern Munich, though, acted swiftly and snapped him up for peanuts. Jean-Claude Todibo is making a name for himself at OGC Nice. The young Frenchman is a rising star and has been linked with a move to United. But did you know that the youngster was rejected by Manchester United following a trial when he was a youth player? Todibo went for a trial which went well. However, United didn't take any action. And now, if United want to sign him, they'll have to pay a lot of money to Nice. Remember Ralf Rangnick? The German was a caretaker manager when Ole was fired who would stay on as a consultant for the club. Now, Rangnick was never meant to be a manager. The former Schalke boss has always had an eye for talent and recommended quite a few good players to United. One of those players was Julian Alvarez. At the time of the recommendation, the youngster was having an absolute ball in Argentina with River Plate. Now this was a striker who was going to be a big star, and Rangnick really wanted United to sign him. For some reason though, Ed Woodward, who needs no introduction, did not think that Alvarez was going to be a problem solver up front, and decided to rely on Anthony Martial, who wouldn't even rely on himself. The result: Manchester City took advantage of United's indecisiveness and got themselves a striker who would play a starring role in Argentina's triumphant Qatar 2022 campaign. Enzo Fernandez was another player highly recommended by the German consultant. Fernandez was a vital cog during Argentina's World Cup run in 2022, and everyone knew that this young player would be a star in the future. He won the Young Player of the Tournament award and was hotly linked with a move away from Benfica. Chelsea were interested in him and were the only side willing to pay up for his services. For some reason, United felt that having Scott McTominay was enough for them, and therefore decided to cool off their interest. Fernandez joined Chelsea in the winter transfer window of 2022-2023, and while the Blues are still struggling, you can see that their star midfielder is one of their most consistent players. But Erik ten Hag looks at Mason Mount on the treatment table and thinks about all the poor choices he made, right? Luis Diaz has been a joy to watch for Liverpool since moving from FC Porto, and part of the reason why he's at Anfield is because Manchester United's recruitment team didn't want to push for him, even though the player was reportedly open to a move to Old Trafford. United went on to buy Jadon Sancho, who's looked nothing like the world beater he was at Borussia Dortmund. The English winger is still in the wilderness after his infamous Instagram post, whilst the flanks away United are still struggling massively since Marcus Rashford has been terrible this season and Alejandro Garnacho is still too young to be consistent. Imagine if United had signed Diaz. We imagined, and we're sure he'd have turned out to be a horrible signing too, because let's be honest, United specialise in ruining good players. Yet another big-name player who could have done well was Serbian hitman Dusan Vlahovic. Rangnick saw the qualities in Vlahovic that very few strikers have. The ex-Fiorentina man is a complete striker and is perfect for teams that play a progressive brand of football. While he was struggling at Juventus, Vlahovic's ability to drop deep and help with the build-up makes him quite a unique player. However, United did not push for him and instead paid big money for a human fidget spinner who's not scored all season long. Christopher Nkunku has recently returned from a lengthy layoff for Chelsea and is already showcasing glimpses of his quality. However, the Frenchman could have landed in Manchester had United chosen to be a serious club. The 26-year-old attacking midfielder was going to cost around €60 million, but United thought that paying this much for Mason Mount would make even more sense, and guess what? It does not make any sense. Everyone knew that United needed more bite in the middle of the park. One of the reasons why Ole got the sack was because the club did not sign a good defensive midfielder. Signing Declan Rice was never going to be easy, so the Red Devils decided to monitor Conrad Limer at RB Leipzig for a few days. The Austrian was a true star for the Germans and could have been convinced to move to Old Trafford. However, United did not try harder, and the midfielder eventually signed for Bayern Munich, where he's done admirably well. There goes another one. But wait guys, there's more. A few years ago, Manchester United were hotly linked with a move for Fabinho, who at that time was making waves at AS Monaco. The Brazilian would have sorted out United's midfield issues. However, for some reason, Jose Mourinho stopped United from signing him and splashed the cash on Nemanja Matic. The Serb wasn't a bad signing at all, but imagine how different things could have been had United moved for Fabinho. Another player who didn't get United's attention was Arsenal star Gabriel Martinelli. The Brazilian winger had a tryout with Manchester United not once, not twice, but 4 times. He wanted to sign for the Red Devils, but the club ignored him. Martinelli's coach at the time admitted that the youngster was very sad after being rejected by United. However, the youngster did manage to move on from the experience quite quickly, because these days he's lighting it up for Arsenal. Okay, so the next player not joining Manchester United isn't entirely the club's fault, because you do get the feeling that things could have been different had Sir Alex Ferguson really pushed for him. Ronaldinho was only 23 and was looking to leave PSG. United had just sold David Beckham to Real Madrid. According to Ball Scholes, United were very close to signing the legendary forward, and the reason why the move did not happen was because Peter Kenyon, the club's chief executive at that time, did not work hard enough to get the deal across the line. In the end, the Brazilian signed for Barcelona and made history, while United signed Cristiano Ronaldo from Sporting Lisbon, and he made a lot of history. So guys, these were some of the players Manchester United regretfully refused to sign. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and before you leave, make sure to smash the like and subscribe buttons, turn on your notifications, and watch this next video. Till next time,